Well, Land Cruiser gang, today we are looking at these. These are from Japan 4x4, and these are the fabled shock spacers. So these are shock spacers for the active hydraulic suspension on the 100 series Land Cruiser, which, as you know by now, I have one. I'm constantly fighting the suspension, and my latest quest is to fit these to restore an inch or so of travel on the rear shocks, because the rams are operating, in theory, operating outside their normal range because I have a hydraulic suspension lift, and these bad boys will help. Can't remember what I paid in pounds, so just over 21,000 yen, which is actually just over £100, and then maybe it was about 50 quid for the shipping. So the parts themselves were not that expensive, so I got a few other small pieces while I was at it. But the basic premise is this just adds a 90-degree bolt on, which allows you to relocate your suspension point so that it's higher. So let's see how easy these are to install. Here's one of the shocks. It is rusty as hell because of its age, but there's nothing particularly wrong with it. So all I've got to do here is undo the bottom bolt, fix the spacer, and remount it. To be honest, I'm not sure what's front and what's back, so I'll grab one of each. What I'm actually going to do is use this on there. That goes on there, and then this new bolt goes through the top half. Okay, that's a 17mm at the bottom. Some genius gave that a bit of copper slip. Oh, must have been me. Lever that off there, probably jack the axle from the other side so that it tilts.
A few moments later.
Okay, so I have undone the single bolt, 17mm. That allowed me to get this bottom shock mount out of the way. I've just, there's a fair amount of levering required, so I've just used a block of wood there to space it forward. That allows me to get my shock spacer in position. I'll tie up my nut, and then I'll be confused about the next part. What? I've just learned I have to rotate my shock. I've got to rotate it on the top mount here because it's no longer, there's like a 90-degree problem here. So I have to rotate the mount, get the new spacer on, and then it will fit on. So my old tired bushings at the top here, they are already shot to pieces. At some point these shocks will need replaced. Hey, maybe this will be the death of them, but either way, rotate 90 degrees to get it on.
2 hours later.
Well, here's a progress update. I have spent nearly 2 hours with all of my levers and hammers and a jack to try and get this on. I'm not having any fun here doing this. So I'll show you on this side. I've had to unbolt the anti-roll bar because it puts too much tension on the axle. Then I'm using a jack on the other side so that I can hold the axle in place so that I can then lever on it, so that I can yank on it. I am now using a ratchet strap because the shock, once it's removed, it's constantly trying to spring outboard towards the hub, and I just, with all of my levering force, I can't get it to move over. So now it's back into the standard position, and I can just about get that lined up, but I can't yet get a bolt through it. So more levering, and I'll probably be able to get a bolt through that hole, and then I've got to do the whole thing on the other side. I just had to basically just be really aggressive with the ratchet strap, and do you know, I think there's a good chance that when fitting these these shocks could get destroyed because rotating them brings them slightly out of alignment, and these bushes are 20 years old, so I don't know, this could be a nice way to kill that shock completely. Oh, it's so close. Almost there, but it's so tight and I can't quite get the bottom of the shock lined up so that it's perpendicular or parallel, whatever the word is. So I just can't get that bolt to seat all the way through. And if I jack up the suspension a little bit, I can get a little bit more clearance. And then when I bring it back down again, it's almost like it's so close to just popping into place there. So I keep moving it and jigging it around to try and get it in the hole. But this is a real pain in the hoop. Finally. What I ended up doing was using my left foot to operate the jack so that I could move the suspension alignment up and down, while the ratchet strap is completely tight so that it's pulling the shock that way. And then I used my lever on the front of it and on the back of it until I could get it visually lined up, and then I inched the bolt forward just ever so slightly, gently, and now I can put on my washer and my bolt nut. That was 3.5 hours. I'm gonna do that 3 more times now. Fuck. Okay, on this side, again I levered that shock forward so that it popped off. I can now slide my little shock spacer adapter, and once I lowered this axle, it popped down and that allowed the shock to come free. Now you just have to get yourself a screwdriver and rotate your shock 90 degrees. In my case, I'm rotating it inboard. I've got no information on whether that's the right thing to do or not, but I'm rotating inboard. And now I'm going to use a ratchet strap. Oh my goodness, it's so tight. Ratchet strap to the other side of the car so that I can pull that back over and get it lined up into the shock spacer. Whew. But first, I think I'll have to lower the axle a bit more. This is honestly a nightmare. I'm going much faster on the second one here, but what I'm basically having to do is inch this forward just one little bit at a time, and then I'm having to use my lever. To get the shock to move enough that I can move it forward. So I wonder if I can demonstrate this with 3 hands. So lever, and then I can move that forward a bit. Lever, move it forward a bit. And now I'll have to ratchet it in that direction to bring the shock over again. This is wild. Alright, second bolt is in. Time check, that is another hour and 10 minutes. Just take a moment to appreciate my 3-way levering here to get that bolt lined up. Sometimes I've been having to use my feet as well as my hands and elbows and knees, but there you go, that one's in. Thank goodness I remembered to put the steel insert through. It's like a sleeve for the bolt, you've got to put that on. But I remembered. Okay, so that's 2. In this case I've ratchet strapped around the diff in order to pull that shock over into alignment. God, this is a pain. Almost done. Got my 17. And then my new bolts are 22s. Rear shock spacers are done. 4 hours and 44 minutes to get to here. Ratchet strap I've used to unbolt my drop links that I'd just done. I just fixed them and I've got to take them off again. So drop links came off, bottom shock, lots of levers to get that off, blocks of wood and stuff, 22mm bolt to fasten this one back on, reuse the original 17. Getting this to align is a freaking nightmare. I cannot imagine that this is going to make a massive difference, and that was a lot of work, and I haven't even done the fronts yet.
2 hours later.
Well, I'm going to admit defeat on the front here, because I can get the shock to compress like that, and I can even use the weight of the car to compress the shock further, and it'll retreat a little bit in there, but I cannot get it to droop sufficiently for me to install the shock spacer. It's just not happening. So I'll have to give up here. But I think I've lost a front height sensor as well. That's reading an improbable reading. I tried draining the fluid out. I don't want to throw 100 quid worth of fluid on the floor. So I'll have to order more fluid, order a level sensor, do some more reading about how to relieve the pressure on this shock, and next time bring my drill kit. But the backs are installed, and I'm about to hook up my extended trail tailor drop links, so I'll get some benefit from that. Had to angle grinder the old ones out. But the front shock spacers have completely defeated me, so I think I'll just bolt that back up and call it quits. I've been here for 10 hours already. I think it's time to call it quits. This has been a very tiring day. At least I got the front anti-roll bar, extended drop links in, and I got my rear shock spacers, so I'll be able to see if I've got some comfort improvement there. I'm a little disappointed I didn't get to finish everything. It's also made worse because this is my last day where I can work in this warehouse, because the ramps are going away and it's being demolished. So I might be able to work indoors, but it's the middle of November now, so it's 5 degrees outside, 5 degrees Celsius I should say, so working outside's becoming tricky now. Anyway, I'll come back, I'll have another go. I'm not going to give up yet because I've already got the shock spacers and other people have managed it, so I'll seek some advice on the internet and I'll go home and I'll have a beer. This has been a frustrating day, but at least I got 2/3 of my stuff done, and I'm not going to have to walk home either, because that would be like an hour's walk. I just can't break it so that I can't drive home. So I'm not going to drain out all the AHC fluid and so on, because I'd like to be able to drive home. Anyway, if you have any ideas about how I can compress this shock, because for love nor money, I can't get it to compress. Normally, with a shock, you would just jack the bottom of it and it would go all loosey-goosey. With this one, it is as tight as a badger's badger, and I can't get it to compress. So I'm going to pack up, give in, and I'll come back and fight another day. So thank you for watching. If you find that interesting, if you have any suggestions for me, please do leave them in the comments down below. And other than that, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye everyone.